Hello to this special channel, to this space called Diving to the Point. My name is Martina, and today my talking guest is Susanne Hutzler. And I say talking guest because we decided to make this interview more like a talk, like talking. I want to say some few things about Susanne. Susanne is a very old friend of mine. I know her since I think 10 years or so. When I was thinking today what we could talk about or what I would like to talk about with Susanne, I thought that we had three big things where we met, and those three things are not really connected. So the first time when we met the first time, it was at the Buddhism Center in Ravensburg. That was the time when I would say I am a Buddhist, and we met there and made our first contacts. And then something new started, and we made a training together over some years. It was a neuroscan balance training. This is kind of a fine motorical work with children and adults. And we made this for some years. And then there is this third area where we met and where we connected a lot, and this is the big field of possibility management, where we are together on the trainer path since for me since 1 year. And hello Susanne.
Hello Martina. I'm quite nervous.
What?
I'm quite nervous, and I'm also glad.
Yes, me too. I'm nervous too. I'm always nervous before interviews, and I'm glad that you're here with me in this space. That makes the space for me also safe, because I know you very well. And well, I was mentioning those three spaces where we met: Buddhism, neuroscan balance, and possibility management. And when I was thinking about it, I was wondering, because I said it's all separate, it's all three different things. But when I was thinking about it, I thought maybe it's not so for Susanne. And my first question would be, what is it for you? Is it separate things, or how are those three things connected for you? What do they have in common? What is it? How is that for you?
So for me, I cannot, it's not three separate like spaces, game worlds, which have no intersection or no connection with each other. For me, the possibility management is a logical consequence of my being a Buddhist for so many years.
Mm.
And the embodiment training we did with neuroscan balance, it's a very deep working with the body and touching the sphere of emotions.
Mm.
And also touching the body of energies. So at least three bodies are in this neuroscan balance training are integrated. And also in our Buddhist training, which we did, and we did this extensive this preparation training, both of us did it. It's not only about calming the breath and calming the mind, and so it's also about integrating the power of emotions. So there's also the emotional body is present, And the energetic body is very much present in this Buddhist training also. And so I see connections.
Yeah, interesting, because what you said about the embodiment, this neuroscan balance, what always fascinated me the most was this thing that our trainer said. She said that very often, when you see people on the street walking, you can see what's going on in them. You cannot see their thoughts, but you can see, are they happy? Are they depressed? And you can see that by how they use their body, how they walk, how they how they walk, how they wear their head on the spine, and those things. And I remember we had to she invited us to do this training, to walk, to look for a person on the street, and then to go behind that person and walk behind that person for some minutes. So she doesn't notice that somebody is walking behind her, perhaps with a distance of 5 meters or so in the city, and you walk behind that person and like imitate how that person walks, how that person wears the head, how that person uses the arms and the legs, and how she does that, and that was so fascinating for me. And I always also thought, like you said, this connection about using the physical body and the connection to the mind and to the emotions. That was, from the beginning on, that was the most fascinating thing for me.
Yeah. Yes, for me too. For me too. So, and also the refinement of this own inner like sense of oneself, of the own body. So the map of the own body got more complete through the training.
Mm-hmm.
The inner map, the inner sensation. And in the same extent that my inner picture of myself got more complete, I could sense more what's happening in the other person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which I did also this experiment, walking behind the person and imitating them. And then it's really, you feel the depression or the pain in your own body.
Yeah. Wow. And this, for me, that is like a key. It can be like a key to understand what's going on in some people. Those little differences to see what might be behind. And that's very fascinating. And you already said that if you would not have made this Buddhism time and that Nandro and that Buddhism training, you probably would not be a possibility management trainer today. And how is that? What is?
Okay, that's a story of mine. Yeah, sorry.
Why is that? Why?
So I can't say where I would be if I wouldn't have done this Buddhist training.
Mm-hmm.
But if I look back, I see that really this Buddhist training that made me come alive, or it saved my ass. I could be dead by an accident, or I would be terribly depressed if I wouldn't have done this Buddhist training. So it gave me a perspective that there's something more than the normal life, which is working, getting children, working until you get a pension and until you die.
And what was that? what was that other thing that you found there? What was it?
I connected to myself, to the being which is behind all these beliefs and all the, all the beliefs which we from which we call box, from the perspective of possibility management. It's the set of beliefs we carry with us and the set of habits and everything.
Yeah.
In Buddhism, I found that there's this set of beliefs and habits is just optional. It's not I.
Wow,
It's not.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that.
How was it for you, Martina?
I'm just thinking because I think because that sounds for me that you had this idea that through the Buddhism training you got this, you created or you distilled the idea that you is not only one thing. Because 10 years ago I would have said, this is Martina and this is it, and that's it. And now you are talking about, okay, there is something like the things I believe, the belief system, and there is a being.
Yes.
And I didn't have that differentiation 10 years ago. I didn't have that. How come that you had that? Why did you have that and I didn't? What?
I got the idea that I'm not really my body. So my suffering is kind of not real.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't keep this up. And I couldn't, and there was all and there was all the difficulties in life with my job and with my health and with my daughter and my parents and everything, like everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I was meditating, I was very sure that all these stories which are going on in my mind are kind of not real. And the real person is the one who is thinking all these things.
Mm. Yeah.
How can I say, or sensing, or I had the idea that, or the feeling that my body is just like something, like an interface, something to get in contact with the world.
Uh-huh. Okay. And that being that you found, that being.
Yes.
Can you talk about that being? What did you find there? What was that being?
So this is a kind of a progress. I cannot say. I just talked to you before that.
Yeah.
It's still difficult for me to separate my being from my box, from all my acquired belief systems and everything, my habits of thinking and sensing, and so
Yeah.
it's still difficult. And sometimes I'm very sure what my being is and wants, and then it gets mixed up again with my
Mm-hmm.
normal Susanne
Mm-hmm.
sitting here talking with you.
Yeah. So which part is talking to me now? Which part is it?
Oh. Yeah, somehow probably in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. My mind wanting to explain you words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This
probably
being,
box.
this let's call it being. I don't know how the Buddhists also call it mind. Is it mind? Is it that
Yeah.
mind? Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Let's call it being. I like that. because we also use that in the possibility management. And for me, in possibility management, when I heard that word being, for me it's like something like essence, the real thing, the essence. Essence is what it's.
And some aliveness. It's very much alive for me.
Yeah.
How is it for you?
Yes, I think it's for me it's something also like the source, or like the thing that came here, and like the seed, or the source, the reason why I am here, and everything else that is Martina is built around it, is built around it. I don't know, but
What's the I don't know, Martina?
What?
What's the I don't know?
The I don't know is, I'm afraid I'm talking bullshit, or I'm afraid I'm saying things that people find boring. So I stopped. That is the I don't know. Thank you.
And I feel this insecurity, this fear. I also feel it. And it's like I want to protect it and not say it in public. I want to say something really shrewd and really wonderful about the being in public. And I don't want to say it here on the video.
Yes, because the being perhaps is also the source where all those feelings come from. Those pure feelings, like big anger, big sadness, big fear, big joy. And
yes.
Yeah. Would you say that, because I think I in Buddhism I had this idea that of being born again, and in Buddhism I heard that the habits, it's mostly the habits that are being born again. So when you have strong habits and you go into your next life, this next being will also have this strong habits, for example. And it was not so, being is for me something more solid, feels more solid or so. But would you say that this Buddhist being, what you learned about, what you thought that the being is in your Buddhist time, is something else than the being that you found in your possibility management time as a trainer?
No. I would say, for me, it's the same. For me, it's totally the same. The Buddhists talk about, and the being, the Buddhists call mind.
Yes.
And it's mind because the English don't have, so the English language doesn't have a word which is suitable for it. It should be, I think it's more like spirit. It's more like Esprit, or German Geist, yeah? It's not like Verstand, not brain, not thoughts.
Yeah, but even the word,
Yeah.
and even the word, sorry for interrupting, the word mind, Geist in German, Geist,
Yes.
for me is something in the head.
Yes.
And that's also.
And in Buddhism, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah. No. It's not. It's the whole aliveness. It's the alive, this, what you describe as source and seed.
Yeah.
For me, is that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's also that which goes from life to life to life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Interesting. Yeah. And what I'm interested to hear a little bit about what was what was the reason why you started to say, because we met Clinton, we found that fascinating. I found that fascinating. We read some books. We went to ETBs, expand the box trainings and labs, and then came this point where we decided to become a trainer. And would you like to tell a little bit about how that came for you? What was that decision, or was it a decision? What happened that you said, okay, I go on this trainer path, I want to be a trainer?
Somehow I was invited sometimes. So I was invited to join the trainer path, and I didn't feel capable. I simply didn't feel capable. I had so much with my own inner processes. I was so involved with my inner processes that I never thought about becoming a trainer. And it started gradually. I was invited to be in a call. It was about 1 year ago when Corona hit, and we discovered Zoom. And I was invited to a Zoom call where some, maybe 6 or 8 trainers were in a call. And it were international trainers from Portugal and from USA, and Clinton and Chloe. No, Clinton, I think even Clinton was not there. I don't know. And I felt totally at home. It was a totally crystal clear space without any emotional drama, without any display of ego games. It was a totally connected, heart to heart and crystal clear space. I haven't been in such a space before. And then I said, okay, I want to be there. What's the entrance fee? I want to be there. And then I heard some weeks later, I heard there would be some really heavy consequences of entering the trainer path. But until then, I was on the hook. I was there, I had been there for some calls, and then you joined also about this time.
Yeah, I joined
When did you join?
in autumn last year. It was later. It was later.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's not true. I joined in summer last year. Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But when you say you were on the hook, so they that sounds to me, I think if somebody would hear that, it sounds like, okay, they catched her, when she was on the hook, they told her what consequences that has. And
yes, somehow. Somehow it was when the consequences revealed. They revealed themselves. I didn't really know what I was going into.
Yeah.
I really didn't know. And then step by step it developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say now? That's why you joined 1 year ago or 1.5 years ago, and what would you say now that you're on this way? Why do you want to become a trainer? Why? Because for me, being a trainer means this, what I consume or what I get here is not only for me. It's not only for me. When I say I'm a trainer, then it's for others. That's the
Yes.
biggest difference for me. And And I'm not sure if I made this, if I made this decision. It's not for me. I'm not sure. What would you say?
No, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question first. How did you decide? How did it work for you to enter the trainer path?
I was at the intimacy lab in, I think it was March last year, and Clinton and Anne-Chloé were talking to me, and they asked me if I would come to the trainer path. And I shook hands with Anne-Chloé after that call, after that talk. So I said yes. It was a handshake. I said yes. And then nothing happened. Nothing happened for some weeks. And sometimes I was thinking, okay, am I in? Am I not in? I was not sure. Anne-Chloé said nothing, Clinton said nothing, and there were a part in me that said, okay, better say nothing, might be dangerous. So I said nothing. But then came the time when I made the decision, I want to be in. I want to be in. And then I was calling Anne-Chloé and asked her, what do I have to do to be in the trainer path? So it was somehow split. It was split. There was this first decision that came from me and came not from me. I don't know. And after some weeks or months, I think it was about 3 months, I made the decision, I want to go there. And then I did the first steps and asked her, what do I have to do? And then it started to roll. That was it with me. But even then, I didn't have this decision, I want to be a trainer because I want to do something for others. I always have this, it's for me, it's for my transformation, it's for my development, it's for my changing, and it's for me. But I don't know, something is changing since some days only, that I think, okay, I think it has to do with the mate training, where Anne-Chloé said very clear, everything that you learn in this mate training is not for you. This is not for you. And it made like click in my head, and I thought, this is everything not for me. I don't know what I will do with that, but it was really, yeah, it was something. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it comes in waves or in steps. When I look back from today, 1 year back, I couldn't have made these steps, this where I am today, in one step. So for me, it was these steps which I needed to become the trainer I'm now. Or that I'm able to say I'm a trainer. Yes, of course I'm a trainer. And yes, of course, it's not for me, it's for the others. It's for me and for the others. Yes, of course. And it's only weeks. It's only weeks for me, or maybe 2-3 months. In the beginning, I was a bit unconscious.
Yeah, yeah.
I was unconscious of the consequences, how that being a trainer is a lifestyle. It's a totally change of identity. It's a change of lifestyle. And
what did you change in your lifestyle?
not yet so much.
Talk about the things that you changed.
Okay, the things that I changed, which came gradually. So the things that I've changed is that I have about 2 to 3 Zoom calls with international trainers a day.
Okay.
Or let's say at least one, and I had days with five calls. And these are always transformational spaces. That means we are doing experiments, we exchange our experiences, we develop projects, these things. And what changed is one of the consequences is that you do that one starts holding space for emotional healing processes. And I started in August. I started, okay, this is one consequence I can start. I hold space for people who want to do emotional healing processes. And then it started to become really much. So it's 140 today since last August, and this is kind of crazy. And I couldn't have thought of being a space holder for emotional healing processes. I couldn't see myself as this.
Yeah.
So this is one of the consequences, or the other consequences, that we both are starting to give a rage club, a rage training.
Yes. In May, we start in May. Yeah.
We start in May.
Yeah.
Conscious rage.
Yes. For women.
For women.
Yeah. So I'm still hanging around with this thought, this is not for us, this is not for me, this is for others. What do you think? What do you have? Why do you do that? Why do you do that work for others? Why do you do emotional healing processes?
Because it changes the lives of the others.
Really, I want to ask you again. Why do you do emotional healing processes? Give me
It
another
really
answer.
changes. It really changes the lives of the other person, and fast.
But why do you care about that? Why do you care about the life of the others? Why is
Because
this
I care
important?
about you.
Huh?
I care about people. This is really important for me.
You care about people.
I care about that. I want to be people. I want people to really be free. Really be free and not trapped in their belief systems, in their emotional pain, in all the trauma which is all around us. I want the trauma to be ended.
Do you think that's possible?
Yes.
I'm asking because
No. Yes. No. Yes.
what is it that you are burning for? Tell me more about that.
So, what makes me really sad and what makes me really angry is when it's war, and when war destroys lives, and it destroys lives not only for one generation, it destroys lives for it said 7 generations. So the trauma we inflict on one person today, if it's not healed, it's going over to the children and the grandchildren, and it's not stopped. So I want to stop the trauma. Okay, I'm one person. And it's going one person at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember
You see,
when, go.
yeah, I'm a post-war child. I was born in the 60s. My parents have only they are war traumatized, but not really hard, or whoever knows. And the whole society I grew up in was dead, was war traumatized. There was all the children around, everybody, this was normal. Yes, it was normal to not feel. It was normal to obey the church and in school, and it was normal to obey the parents. This dead life, yeah, it was like leaden time. It was normal, and I want to stop this.
Thank you, Susanne. Do you remember when we were at the I don't even know if it was the Buddhism or the Neuroscan Balance. The trainer said, pretend to be happy until you are happy. Do you remember? And
Yes.
now I'm making another experience. I'm making the experience when you are not happy, when you are sad, for example, or when you are angry, or when you are afraid, and lay that on the table and don't pretend to be happy. Yeah.
Yes.
And it makes me sad that, yeah, it makes me sad when I see people pretending that they are happy. For example, my mother, she always pretended to be happy. She was singing and I don't know, and she was only pretending. Yeah.
Yes. And this pretended happiness was
Yeah.
all over in my childhood, and it's still everywhere. When I go to town, there's this pretended happiness, because if the other feelings like sadness or rage or fear, if these feelings are not allowed to come up, joy can also not come up. And most people don't feel their feelings to the extent that they display the joy.
Mm. So if I would ask you, if you would stop pretending that you are something now, what would you be now? What would you be? What are you now? What do you feel now?
What I feel is that I'm sitting in my chair, and my right foot is in a kind of awkward angle, and I'm sensing that my voice is hoarse. And my energy is quite in my head. And my emotions, my feelings are quite low. Probably I put them down. So when I let them come, there's fear, there's some anger, low percentage, not so much anger, more fear. There's sadness. With sadness, it's easy for me to make really big. So let it come big. This is my go-to feeling.
Your what?
And there's also my go-to, my feeling, which is easy to. And I also feel joy, because this is an exploration space.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Does this answer your question?
Yes, yeah, that answers my question. Yeah. And
What is it with you, Martina?
But-
If you pretend to be Martina.
yeah, I pretend to be doing interviews. I pretend if I would put that away, I feel fear at the first time. I feel fear and I feel anger, and anger is my first feeling that comes almost very easy. I feel anger and fear, and also joy. Yeah, I also feel joy. Yeah.
And I feel joy, and I could let it come bigger. So I could make the joy come bigger.
How do you do that?
It's an intention.
It's
How
not.
do you do that? How do you do that, Martina?
I cannot do that with joy. I cannot do that. I can do that with anger every moment.
Okay, show me. How do you do it with anger? There's the joy. Can you see it?
Yes, it's mixed. No, I think it's not in the head. To make that big is not in the head.
No, it's for me, it's like putting something aside, like some sliding thing which keeps the feelings low.
Mm.
And then the joy can come, but then also the anger can come, like it's coming.
Yeah,
And then I feel also fear.
yeah. I have one last question because our time is over. I have one last question. You said that sadness is your feeling that comes first. When you think about what do I feel, sadness comes first, mostly.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is the feeling that you really had to fucking work for? Which is the feeling that didn't want to come? For me, it's joy. To really feel joy, it's hard for me. It's not about this joy, not about laughing about jokes or so. It's something else. I don't know. But what is your feeling that you really had to work for?
I had to work for the rage.
Yeah.
I had really worked to work for the rage, which was the first one, and then for the fear. Because after sometimes the fear was coming, and the fear was coming as an emotional fear, which was present every moment. I had this emotional, very high fear, and that took really long to go away, to go this emotion, to process this emotion, which always makes the fear come up.
And now we are making this rage club together. A woman like you, for you, your anger was the hardest feeling, and for me, anger was the first. And this combination is perfect. We are two perfect beings to do this workshop, to do this rage club. What do you think?
Yeah, because it's so easy for you to have this, to hold this rage space. This crystal clear, very crystal clear space. No nonsense, no bullshit.
Mm.
And I have some I do understand people who cannot address their rage, who feel like rage is something they don't have. So
Yeah.
I don't have rage. I thought rage is not a problem for me. I'm not like, how is this?
Not not aggressive or
I'm not aggressive and I'm not angry and so.
yeah. I'm really glad and looking forward to this Rage Club. And yeah, I
Me
think
too.
it will be great. It will be, yeah. And it can be a start to a series of Rage Clubs that we can do. We can do one
Yes.
after another and look at rage from different sides and from different aspects. And yeah.
Yeah, what would be the thing? Why are you doing the rage clubs? Because you said,
Yeah, because I'm doing the Rage Club because I have this in my being huge experience of making this standing rage out of nothing, out of from 0 to 100% without knowing where I will go and what will happen. And I did this in a workshop with Clinton and Anne-Chloe 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I think it was 2018, 18 or 19, 18. And this, it was like, I used this picture, it was like leaving the highway and jumping into the jungle, and everything changed. I was no longer on this safe highway. I really jumped into a space where I knew nothing, and so many things changed since then. And it was the best thing for me to do. It was the best thing. And so I can really say to other women, especially women, connect with your anger, do that. And I can open the door for her and say, come with me, I went there, you can go there too.
and it will change your life.
It will change her
Totally.
life. Yes. Yeah.
There's no way back.
Yes.
In terms of no way back. You don't want to go back, because if you have your rage, you can say yes and no, especially no.
Yeah.
And if the no is a clear no, then the yes is also be heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can say a clear stop, not with me.
Yeah.
And if you can say stop, your yes is also a bigger yes. It's not a let's look, I don't know.
Mm. Or a jein, like we say in German.
Yeah.
Mixture of ja,
Or ja, aber.
ja, ja, aber.
Ja, aber.
Ja, aber. Susanne, what do you want to
Martina,
say? You wanted to say something.
we could talk for ages.
We could talk for ages. Yes, that's right. We will talk for ages, but
Yes.
not today.
It's over.
It's over. Thank you very much, Susanne, for being with me in this space and for diving and for, yeah, coming with me, following me, and you go forward, I go forward, and I like that very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.